Is this real life?
Unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. The Twilight Zone. Unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. The Twilight Zone. The Twilight Unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. The Twilight Zone.
La 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 la. She's a small wonder, lovely and bright and soft curves. She's a small wonder, a child unlike other girls. She's a miracle, and I grant you, she'll enchant you at her sight. She's a small wonder, and she'll make your heart take flight. La 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 la. She's fantastic, made of plastic, microchips here and there. She's a small wonder, brings love and laughter everywhere.
Evening, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain, yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice, their genes have been spliced. They're Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain. Before each night is done, your plan will be unfurled by the dawning of the sun. You'll take over the world. The Pinky and the Brain, yes, Pinky and the Brain. Their twilight campaign is easy to explain. To prove their mousy worth, they'll overthrow the earth. They're Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain. Nerve!
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hasenbemp Incorporated.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. Nothing's gonna turn us back now. Straight ahead and on the track now. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. There's nothing we won't try. Never heard the word impossible. This time there's no stopping us. We're gonna do it. On your mark, get set and go now. Got a dream and we just know now. We're gonna make that dream come true. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. Make our dreams come true. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. Make our dreams come true. For me and you.
Streaks on the china, never mattered before. Who cared when you drop kicked your jacket As you came through the door, no one glared, but sometimes things get turned around and no one spared. All hands look out below. There's a change in the status quo. Gonna need all the help that we can get. According to our new arrival, life is more than mere survival. We just might live the good life yet.
Heyo, coming at you. Heyo. Three Fingers says Z must be in a gay mood today, judging from the music. Well, Three Fingers, let's just say I am. We're being gay today, being happy. Yay! Yay us. Why not be gay? So what? Who cares? Everybody just be gay. I wonder when gay, changed over. It wasn't that long ago. Where, if you were a guy, you'd be, strolling down the street, and you would say, "Hello, Charlie, I'm in a gay mood." And then you'd be like, "That's grand." And there wouldn't be anything, inherently homosexual about the encounter. But no, gay means gay. It's weird when words just take over. There's no stopping it. Like right now, you wouldn't want to be named Karen and live in the United States. I'd imagine nobody's naming their children Karen anymore because Karen now's become something else. If I say, "Oh, she's a Karen," you all know what that means. The same thing with gay. Also, along the same topic, the F word for gay people. For all you Brits, it just means a cigarette. People would say, "Oh, pass me a fag, mate, pass me a fag." And it means cigarette. How many of you Americans knew that? Did you know that, Cadence? That fag means cigarette? Not anymore. It's weird. Same thing with Earth. Everybody just calls it a globe now. No, where do y'all live? On globe. Around the globe. Across the globe. When did globe become Earth? People just don't even say Earth anymore. That's how indoctrinated everybody is. All of us, present company included. Although I'm trying to break my indoctrination. Can you say the same? Around the globe. Planet Earth. Hey guys, I said this the other day, I'll say it again. Nobody ever called Earth a planet or a globe. Ever, 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 until very recently. So think about how long humans have existed. We all have our little different ideas, understandings, and theories about the timeline of human existence. But either way, if you think we've been around for a couple thousand years or a couple million, just know this. It's only been very few short generations that have called the place where we live planet Earth, globe Earth. It was just Earth, guys. Maybe the world. Now everybody just says it. Why do you say it? We say things unconsciously, rotely. Many of us don't think before we speak. It's not a planet. You don't live on a planet. You live on Earth. The planets are those things up in the sky. They're those luminaries in the sky. They're those stars that wander. They move around, unlike the other ones that are fixed relative to each other. Planet means to wander. Plane. It's a wanderer. You live a wandering star? No. You live on Earth. Silly. Who told you otherwise? Oh, they had a fancy white coat on. Oh. They had a diploma hanging on their wall. They had a position of authority. Oh, they told you. Oh, the TV told you. Gotcha. Movies. They told you. Got ya. They told you. You live on a planet. Oh, I look around. Doesn't seem like I live on a planet. It seems like I just live on Earth. In which way are those really cool lights in the sky related to the thing I'm standing on? Well, what do you mean, Z? What do you mean? Well, I don't know. You try to figure it out. It's only a planet in your mind. It's only a globe in your mind. Nowhere else. Do we know the difference between fantasy and reality anymore? Do we even care? Does it even matter? Just saying. How are we, people? People of Earth. How are we doing on this fine day? They say it's October 17th. It's a Tuesday. Nice time to be me, where I live. This is the it time of year, if you ask me. This is like it. My world doesn't get any better than the way things are now. I can go outside, 62, sunny, low humidity, beautiful autumn, colors everywhere. It's nice. Although I've noticed increasingly that Halloween has taken over October. And what's with that? Sorry. Modern popular culture is that these goofy man-made holidays have now taken over. It's weird. So, when I was a kid, you'd see Halloween decorations, like right around Halloween, maybe a few days before and after. People would go into their attics or garages, they'd get out the Halloween decorations and they'd put them up. Same thing with Christmas and any holiday, really. But no, we've seen these holidays encroach on entire months. So now October is just Halloween. It's everywhere. When I was a kid, when this time of year would come, people would put out their pumpkins, they would put out their corn stalks. It was cozy. It was nice. Warm. There was a romantic feeling to it. But no, now it's Halloween. Now it's like blood and ghoul and monsters. Freddy Krueger. What's with that? I don't know. It may seem innocent enough to some people. To me, it just seems like, malicious in some way. Like it's being pushed. Same thing with December. December comes, boom, everything. Christmas everywhere. For a whole month. It's like, what does it have to do with me? Okay. You want to celebrate Halloween? You want to celebrate Christmas? Why has it got to be in my face? And why is it always a holiday? Like it's always something. Something that they say that it is. Very strange. But I'm like this. I'm getting kind of older, a little cranky. So I'm like the middle-aged complaining guy now. I'm not very fun at parties anymore. I used to be kind of fun. No, not anymore. No more fun. I'm not having it. Okay, where are we? Looks like we're still live. That's a good thing. Let me get the vocal folds warmed up. me. There we go. Not easy coming on here each morning, yapping away for hours on end. I seem to do it though. My voice holds up. All right. Let's get this show on the road, man. Let's get going. Get my music pulled up in the background, which will then become the foreground. Yeah. I'm ignoring you today, Cadence. I'm ignoring you, Chatty Cathy, who's online constantly. All right, it's intervention time for Cadence. Are you ready? Are you listening up? Young lady up in Michigan. Listen up, listen good. This is your wake-up call from your pal Z. Cadence. When I pop online, and maybe I just go to somebody's channel to kind of check them out, guess who I always see? It's Cadence. She's in multiple chats at the same time, all across the metaverse. She says, if you were ignoring me, why even acknowledge or say my name? Because I'm no longer ignoring you. I'm focusing on you for a particular purpose. Because I think you need help. This is me reaching out to you, metaversally speaking. You have a problem, Cadence. Now, the first step is admitting it. Oh, it is sad, ruled by Saturn. Yeah. She's everywhere. Multiple chats at the same time, constantly. She appears to have very little other activities in her life at all. Come on, Cadence, come clean. Can you at least admit that you have a metaversal problem? Can we start there? Like, can you type it in the chat for me? It goes a little something like this. Hi, my name is Cadence, and I'm an addict. Can we hear it from you? Can we at least start there? That way I know we have somewhere to go. Hi, I'm Cadence. I'm a metaversal addict. Nuba says nothing wrong with multiple chats. Well, it's because you do the same thing, Nuba. I could be having the same conversation with you, but we'll save it because Cadence is a bit more, she's a bit more severe in her presentation. She said, I think you need help too. She said, if you see me in a bunch of chats, that means you are there as well too. No, Cadence, because there's a difference between me and you. I check in. I see my feeds. I go, oh, so-and-so's live. I hit the button. I go, oh, cool. They're talking about this. And then I see you. And then I'm out, you see? And then I'll go to another chat. Same thing. I'll swoop in for 15 minutes just to kind of take the temperature of the room. And guess who's there? You. So your logic is flawed, lovely lady. You get it? You understand? Like when I say you're an addict, like say you were at a bar, like all the time, like you're addicted to alcohol. And I just like look in the window of the bar as I'm walking by, going grocery shopping, and I see you in there. And every time I'm going grocery shopping and I look in the window of the bar, you're there. Would you make the same analogy? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't say I'm the alcoholic. See? I'm just observing the alcoholic. It's very strange. You have an issue. It's an addiction. There's a lot of people here that have addictions to many things. But yours seems to be an addiction to this metaverse. And I know I'm not the only one who notices. It's quite obvious. And you appear to be very indiscriminate in who you follow and who you're addicted to. You'll go from Ian from We Are Awake TV to Zetetic Warrior to Mr. Unslavious to OTW to London Man and to other channels that I probably don't even know of. The reality is these are all very diverse channels with diverse content. There's nobody here that could be fans of all the people I just mentioned, except you. The other thing, Cadence, is if you're going to be like that, you might want to think about monetizing your endeavor here. You could probably charge. You don't have to give your attention away for free. A lot of guys would probably reimburse you for your time and energy. There's a lot of thirsty guys here. If that Bobby shows back up, our friend the Bee Warrior, he could use some of your services. And he's just one example of many. There's a lot of thirsty guys here in these communities. It's not easy for a lot of these guys. What do you think happened to D'Angelo when he told his, favorite lady that he thinks the earth is flat? You think that went well for D'Angelo? Yeah, probably not. I don't even know him, and I know that. All these other people, like Ruled by Saturn, you think it was good for Ruled by Saturn when he was like, he was dating some chick. Things have been going well. They've been dating for about a year and a half. And he finally decides to tell her, I kind of think space is like fake and not real. How do you think that went for him? Probably not very well. Truth and, relationship with the female gender doesn't typically go hand in hand. Women don't like reality, really. It's about the fantasy. It's about the dream. So when you point out that basically the entire culture that we've adopted and buy into is basically a fantasy and a dream from the top down, when you point out the actual reality of the situation, the ladies don't tend to like it. I'm just saying. And of course, my chat is backing me up. As ruled by Saturn says, oh, it went terrible. And that's why he's single now. So just pay attention, Cadence. Like I said, you could probably monetize your endeavors here. You know? She knows. I think you're kind of catching on to that. 2 words, Cadence. OnlyFans. You get it? OnlyFans. For those of you who don't know, it's it's an app, it's a website where Cadence could probably do very well and be quite lucrative with her time here. Just saying, Cadence. We've seen those curves. Like, we haven't got a whole full body shot of you yet, but we could fill in the gaps. We know. We know what's going on. Just saying. All right, I got to snap out of it. I got to snap out of the vortex. Cadence says 4 words for you, Z. You are not God. Oh, I love when people project on me. Cadence, you realize that's just your internal world that you're projected on me, right? You know I don't think I'm God. You get that, right? No, you don't. Because you're incredibly solipsistic and narcissistic. But much love, though. Much love. It comes with the territory. Just saying. Yeah, it's a Cadence vortex. We're in the vortex. Oh, help me out, everybody. I'm in a spiraling tornado vortex regarding Cadence. It's too much. How do I get out? We'll try to pull ourselves out of the Cadence nosedive that we're in currently. Where's this thing I'm trying to play? Sometimes I'm trying to pop in a sound effect for you guys and it doesn't come up quickly and I'm like, there goes the moment. Like, that sound effect would have been perfect for the moment and then it's gone. I need to get one of those soundboards like OTW has. It's okay, OTW. You don't have any talent, but you at least appear to have, a bunch of, like, I don't know, maybe trust fund money. I don't know where you get your money from because you don't work. You appear to have, like, a bunch of resources to invest in your production value. Too bad you're completely culted up, OTW, because with your production value and, my whole show here, we might have been able to get something going together. Not saying I'm looking for any partners or would ever even think about partnering up with you. I'm not insane. But I'm just saying, you seem to have a lot of nice equipment there. I don't know, maybe the listeners have noticed. All right, Cadence, we'll leave you alone. Cadence let me know the vibes are low. Well, I know, Cadence, that I've basically, asked my audience to let me know when the vibes drop too low. Because when the vibes drop too low, we could always tune into the Mellow Dome when they're broadcasting in the AM. And then we'll get our vibes high again. But you don't count, Cadence. I'm not going to use you in terms of the vibe meter. You really can't be trusted with it. I have other trusted advisors and associates that I'll look to regarding that, not you. Because we're not sure of your intentions here. You just appear to be thirsty. Yeah. Nuba says the vibe is 5.8, which is good because only when the vibes drop below 5, when the vibes drop below 5 out of 10, we have to start getting the vibes back up. Looks like we're getting close, though. According to Nuba, we're not quite in the red yet, but we're getting there. So we're more in the yellow. So we'll have to work on getting those vibes up. Maybe we'll start the show. We'll do the opening. That's always high vibe, high energy in the morning. Yeah. The opening will get the vibes back up. We know that. Of course it will. And then I'll spare the audience this little thing I have going with Cadence here. And we'll pull out of the death spiral that we apparently have found ourselves in. But you're everywhere, Cadence. You're everywhere all the time. I'm like, oh, she has nothing. She does nothing. You need a hobby. You need, I don't know. Some people say get a job, but you just need something other than being here all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Just saying, Cadence. What the fuck? All right, let me get this thing going here. Crikey. The fuck? It's like my computer just starts skipping all over the place. It's almost like YouTube's trying to fuck me up. Come on. Wow. Just trying to get my equipment to cooperate. Cadence says, oh, a lot of people are on here and everywhere. Yeah, but especially you, lovely lady. I mean, I know I could have this conversation with a lot of people. I could probably have the same conversation with Special K, as you point out, and like I said, Nuba. But we're focusing on you this morning, Cadence. Let's not detract from the topic at hand, which is you and your metaversal addiction. Stop it. Jay asked, does she remember anything you said of the news the past days? No. We already know Cadence doesn't pay attention. I've tested her. We've already done that. We've concluded that she's here constantly, but she retains none of the information, which means she's not focusing, which means she's just basically worried about herself. The chat. Come on, Cadence, stop it. All right, Nuba, I'm trying to get the vibe up. I'm working hard on it. My goal is to just one day vibe as high as Awesome Austin at the Melodome and that Flatman X. If I get vibe as high as those two gentlemen, I'll consider myself a broadcasting success. Because I'm not really worried about, truth, information, entertainment, humor. I just want to vibe high. I want everybody just to like me. And, I don't want to rock the boat, ruffle any feathers. Of course not. Except with you, Cadence. All right. Let's get rocking and rolling, everybody. Let's cam up. Hola. Guten Morgen, everybody. Howdy. See, because I'm doing a lot of things all at once here. I'm writing, I'm producing, and presenting all in one. It's a one-man show. Cadence, you're here so much. You want to help me out? Like, maybe help me out somehow. Like, do something. Like, if you're constantly going to be online, like, do you see how Rose 777, she like does production for the Crow 777 channel? You see how that Cynthia does production on what she calls that urban broadcast that they do? You see how they make themselves useful? But no, Cadence, you're just here sucking up attention. Stop it. Help me out. Do something for me. Yeah. Official opening commencing now. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising and Grand Approach. Welcome back to Z Show. That's right, it's my show, everybody. Z is short for Zetetic Warrior. That's the handle that I chose a long time ago, so I'm sticking with it. So you can just call me Z, and we're broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm that we call Earth. It's not a planet. It's not a globe. There's no proof of that. Somebody just told you that. It's stupid. And we're saying hi to all the lovely people on the 7 known continents and all those weird lands beyond the apparent ice wall. The ice wall that David Weiss travels beyond, first class, most likely. Come on, David, where have you been? You've been paying attention to Z? Probably not. Too busy counting those shekels? Most likely. Anyway, it's time for Flattoberfest, everybody. So all those goofy flat earthers are probably congregating somewhere around Las Vegas right now. Good luck with that. Hey, strap it up, everybody. There's a lot of STDs, even amongst the flat earth community. Just saying. Who's here? Who's here? Bear Jew, number 1 in the house this morning. Up and at it. 3 fingers coming at us. Joe Moore, peace and respect and shalom. Back to you, good sir. Open your eye, connect dots. Guten Morgen. Music holds a secret. Coming in with a little Creed? Yeah. Chris Q in the house. He's asking me, is Z going to Flattoberfest? The short answer, Chris, is no. Z will not be attending Flattoberfest for numerous reasons. Look, I'm not boycotting it or anything. I just somehow don't feel like it would be, like the best move for me. It might not be the safest environment for yours truly, Zetetic Warrior. You get it, guys? Do I need to spell it out for everybody? Yeah. For those of you who maybe are new to the show, wondering, how come Z's not at that Flattoberfest? Well, Z in the past has had some run-ins with certain members of the Flat Earth community. Some might call it a Flat Earth mafia. I don't know. I've kind of gotten the message over time that it might not be the best option for me to head over to that Flattoberfest because there's one person I know is going to be there. And this person is very ruthless, powerful, and somebody who should not be dealt with lightly. And that's Karen B. That's right, Karen B, everybody. Yes, for those of you out there who may be uninitiated, maybe a bit naive, there is something called a Flat Earth Mafia. They are a ruthless bunch. The Flat Earth Mafia is not to be messed with. And apparently, they congregate once a year in Las Vegas. From what I've heard, there's a hit put out on me. The Flat Earth Mafia is looking to take me down. So, whoever asked me, Chris, Q, he asked me if I'm going to Flattoberfest. The answer is no. I will not be there. At least without some protection. A gang with heavy artillery to protect me. There's a lot of nefarious characters that are in the Flat Earth Mafia, all looking to take out Synthetic Warrior. So, yeah, Chris Q. I know that Karen B looks innocent enough, you know, but make no mistake, she's the most bloodthirsty and ruthless mafia don that you've seen probably in recent history. She runs the Flat Earth Mafia. Not messing with her. It will not be a Flattoberfest. It's not going to happen. Anyway, who else is here? I didn't finish greeting all the lovely listeners. New blood in the house, ruled by Saturn, much love. T2L2. Greetings. Jim Pelter. Much love. Glyph, buongiorno to you. We already talked to you, Cadence. Much love. D'Angelo, yes, coming at ya. I think we said hi to Three Fingers. Ryan Johnson, much love. We already said hi to Jay. Good morning to you, sir. You tell me, in the house. Good to see you, sir or ma'am. Land of the Blinded 2. So Z's the bartender. No, but Cadence needs help. We love you, Cadence. We really do. Get help. Divine Spirit 313, otherwise known as Heidi. Special K, much love. Random Fan. Good to see you, Mr. Random Fan. Living on a boat out there on the West Coast, wherever the fuck you are. I think you're like in like Washington or something. Oregon, Washington, same thing really. Who else is here? Fruit Kiss. Not to be confused with Sunkissed, who I saw in a chat the other day on the Axis Raplet channel. What are you saying, Cadence? Oh, you don't give up. She says, I wanted to help you out, Z, but you're too pussy for contact in private. I see what you tried to do there, Cadence. You tried to play in my ego. Call me a pussy. It's not going to work. Just saying. Yeti Life in the house. And the rest. And the rest. Special K says, Jay wants a shout out. The boyfriend. Yeah, we know Jay's your boyfriend. What's the deal, Special K? Doesn't he have like a YouTube channel? Why do we not see Jay in chat? Do you just chat for him? It's like when you call in and when you come on the panel. We can like kind of hear him in the background. We don't ever really see Jay. Are you another one? Do you like lock up all your love interests? Do you chain them up, put them in a sex dungeon? Like other people here? Come on, Jay, come out. Come out and play. We want to hear from you. She said he never ever goes on social media. He listens to you only in the background. What does he do all day, Special K? What does he like lend his attention towards? Maybe it'll help Cadence out. Because according to Cadence, there's nothing besides social media. He's like the complete opposite of Cadence. He said, I've been out, bro. He listens to you only. Okay, well, that's cool. I'll take it. Much love, Jay. Shout out to Jay. Listens to Z Show. Of all things, here he is. With us. Yeah, shout out. Pay attention, Cadence. There's things to do other than the metaverse. All right, we're getting in the Cadence vortex again. It's happening. I'm getting sucked in. This is something we're going to have to work on. We're going to have to watch out. Nuba, I'm going to put you in the job again. When we start going into the Cadence vortex, I need somebody to pull me out of it. I'm going to need help with this because the Cadence vortex is too powerful. It's too strong.
Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Throughout human history, as our species has faced the frightening, terrorizing fact that we do not know who we are or where we're going in this ocean of chaos, it has been the authorities, the political, the religious, the educational authorities who attempted to comfort us.
Cadence vortex.
You
Cadence
unlock
vortex.
this door with the key of imagination.
Cadence vortex.
Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight.
So weird in the Cadence
A dimension of
vortex.
mind.
Everything's strange.
You're
in
moving
here.
into a land of both shadow and substance.
I'm lost. Help me out.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkinland.
All right, I need to get out of here. It's too much. Losing my mind. We need to reset. Can't just sit here and spurg out all morning. It's not going to help anybody. I know you love the attention, so stop it. You know what it really is, Cadence? I'm just trying to work you out of my system. Maybe like the truth is I'm just hopelessly in love with you. And because of that, like I just can't stop thinking about you. I can't quit you, really. So I just come on here and pretend like, like it's otherwise. That could be it. Either way, let's take a quick interlude. We'll be back with more Z Show. Don't go anywhere.
This song is for Lamsey. Special dedication here. Lamsey and all that Lamsey represents. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. See that girl, watch that scene, dig in the dancing queen. It's Friday night and the lights are low, looking out for a place to go where they play the right music, getting in the swing. You come to look for a king. Anybody could be that guy. Night is young and the music's high. With a bit of rock music, everything is fine. You're in the mood for a dance. And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Dancing queen, feel the beat from the tambourine. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. See that girl, watch that scene, dig in the dancing queen. Apocalypse Cabaret. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm in love. I've got a song that I sing. I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Lucky me. Oh, can't you see I'm in love?
I'm in love.
Life is a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I'd be a silly so and so if I should ever let it go. I've got the world on a string, I'm sitting on a rainbow, got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. Life is a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string.
Yeah.
I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let go. I got the world on a string. I'm sitting on a rainbow. Got that string around my finger. What a world. And this is the life.
Yeah. Come
Hey
on.
now, hey now, I'm so in love. Apocalypse Cabaret.
Yeah. Nathan Sanders, everybody. Singing his heart out for everybody. He's doing us all a service. It's a gift, really. He's sharing his lovely voice, his beingness with the world, really. I recognize it, Mr. Nathan. I see what you're doing here. Hey, he's letting it shine. Mr. Mateo, where are you? Mateo says, drop the link. But then he doesn't show up. Like, what's the deal, Mateo? You think it's all about you? Like, where are you? Just drop the link. And then disappears. Like, what's so urgent, good sir? What do you have for us this morning that's so pressing? You gonna come in and like show us how you can do like, what did you say? 300 push-ups in like 35 minutes? Is that the number you said? Something insane and impossible? Mateo, unless you're gonna come on this morning and do push-ups, I'm not really sure what else to do with you. Because until we clear up this little push-up issue, I'm not going to be able to move on. Because 500? Is that what he said? He could do 500 push-ups in 35 minutes? Even more. And he disappeared. Maybe he's getting ready to do the push-ups. Now Heidi says she wants to come up. Oh my God, what is going on this morning? Something's going on. Okay, Heidi. The link's in the chat. Let's see what you got for me. No, he didn't say 1,000. He said he can do like an insane amount of push-ups within a very short period of time. And of course, you know how I am. I called bullshit right away. But he stuck to it. Mateo, he's having us believe, apparently, that he can just do an insane amount of push-ups. Which I contend is just physically impossible. There's certain limitations in like physicality, everybody. One of them is the ability to do push-ups. Yeah, Moose, I want to see. I told him if he wants to claim something so audacious, he needs to kind of needs to show up and show out. Mr. Mateo, are you going to come up, sir? And then he just says Thursday. What is that supposed to mean, Mateo? Thursday. So now you speak to me in sentence fragments. There's something very strange going on with you, good sir. Something very odd lately. Mateo, if you don't get up here now, and let us know what the fuck's going on. Because nobody says drop the link, and then the next comment is Thursday. Thursday what? You know the link's not going to be good on Thursday. Oh, he's in the shower. Okay, Mateo. Just know, Mateo, I'm going to get a poll going because the majority of my audience, when they view you, they think you're on the steroids. Now, I would never accuse you of anything, Mateo, good sir. Of course not. However, just know that I'm considering it a 50-50 chance that indeed you're on some type of exogenous hormone regimen. You know, steroids. Because we know you got the pump going, dude. Either way, just be careful with whatever you're doing. You know, maybe stop doing the steroids. Whatever you're up to. Human growth hormone, testosterone replacement. I don't know what they got you on, Mateo, but just be careful. I do have Heidi here in the back. What's up, Heidi? I had a whole presentation I was just about to get into. I was going to do my Z-File segment. Let's bring her up. Heidi, you're interrupting me. What is the nature of this intrusion, please?
I love interrupting you. Yay.
Sure you do. What's the nature of this?
Grand Rising, everybody. The nature is I was reminded last night by kind, gentle soul random fan over at the Rebuttal Bar about the word histrionic. Does that ring any bells, dear Z?
You're asking me if I'm aware of the term histrionic? Yes, I am.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when I took a week off of YouTube, I got a little birdie in my ear that you were saying that I was a histrionic. And I thought, that's interesting. I know a little something about that. Is that what he's saying while I'm not around? So I just was wondering your take on that.
A couple of things, Heidi. One, I don't know if you're around or not around. Two, do you consider yourself a histrionic? I don't recall referring to you as a histrionic, but I mean, does the shoe fit?
No, I went and did some research. My mom actually has her master's in psychology. She laughed when I asked her. I said, "Am I histrionic?" And I've been to counseling way back in the day when I had to have over a foot of my intestines removed. I was diagnosed with depression. They tried to put me on all the medication. But a histrionic, that's a pretty good I mean, I know what that is. I just I was curious. Is that what you think about cadence too? Are we histrionic, see?
I'm not sure, Heidi. I mean, I'm not prepared to sit here and psychologically diagnose all the ladies of the Z show. I mean, let's read what histrionic says. Histrionic personality disorder is defined by the American Psychiatric Association as a personality disorder characterized by a pattern of excess attention-seeking behaviors, usually beginning in early adulthood, including inappropriate seduction and an excessive desire for approval. Well, I'm not sure, Heidi, if that really characterizes you, but you're referencing our good friend Cadence, and, well, I'll let the audience put the pieces together there.
Well, it was just interesting. I heard it, and it was funny, and I forgot to say something about it too because time had passed, and you know how it gets crazy in the YouTube streets, and your shows were doing their own thing. So I thought, and then when I came in this morning and all this was going on, and I'm making my coffee, I was like, what the? I need to talk to Z when he drops the link. And then I came back and I heard you say Mateo wants you to drop the link, and I'm like, yeah, drop the link. But if it's not time and you're doing something else, you do you. I just
so beyond
wanted to ask you about it.
So beyond whether or not you feel as though it applies to you, do you feel as though cadence matches what I described there? I'll say it again. characterized by a pattern of excessive attention-seeking behaviors, usually beginning in early adulthood, including inappropriate seduction and an excessive desire for approval. People diagnosed with the disorder are said to be lively, dramatic, vivacious, enthusiastic, extroverted, and flirtatious. It lies in the dramatic cluster of personality disorders, also known as cluster B. They usually have a high desire for attention, make loud and inappropriate appearances, exaggerate their behaviors and emotions, and crave stimulation. I don't know.
Well, I'm not a professional or anything, but I just thought, that reminds me, histrionic. So I just wanted to ask you about it.
Interesting. Some people in the chat feel as though that those symptoms and signs more appropriately describe Christy Lee dolls. Do you
Yeah.
have any thoughts on that, Heidi?
Yeah, a bit. But who am I? I mean, everybody has their own thing. So, but a histrionic also dresses seductively. They go into severe depression when not given the attention that they seek. And it goes a lot deeper than what you're reading there, dear Z. So it's a disorder because they can't cope unless they're getting massive amounts of attention, extreme highs, extreme lows, depending on the attention that they're getting or not. So I don't know if that's, not everybody's going to check every box, but can't we just all watch, oh, are you suffering from depression? Are you suffering? And we can check some boxes here and there. But I really tried to check the boxes when I heard you say that. I watched a few therapists on YouTube that speak about these things that are pretty well known. I watched a lot of shorts and I was like, I'm really trying to check the boxes. Is this really
So
what
here's the thing,
Steve
Heidi. So
says
you
about me?
heard. So hold on, Heidi. You apparently heard from a third party that I used the word histrionic in association with you, and that sent you on some kind of weird spiral. That's strange. I don't even recall saying it.
You said something about Heidi, are you watching? And you were giving people personality disorders, and you said histrionic. And I said, what? What did he call me? And sure as shit, I started looking into it because I thought, oh my God, he's talking shit about me while I'm taking a break off for my own personal family stuff. But whatever, it doesn't matter why I was doing it. I wanted to throw my phone in the river that week. I kept going to the river and I was like, wow, I go missing, and that's what I've been now diagnosed with a personality disorder. That's interesting.
Heidi, I have literally no clue what you're talking about. Do you feel as though you suffer from the same addiction as Cadence regarding addiction to social media? I don't mean like Facebook and stuff.
Absolutely
I mean like this stuff.
not. I've gone in some
No?
pretty deep holes where I've popped around out of boredom. But I don't know all these places that you are referring to. But wouldn't you need to be there too to see her there if you know she's there? That's a little.
Well, didn't you hear my whole rap? It's like saying
Unfortunately, I didn't. I woke
it's like
up
saying
late.
if I walk by the bar every day and peek through the window on my way to the grocery store and I see Cadence in there, are she and I evidencing the same behavior? She's in the bar all the time. I'm walking by and peeking in. It's the same thing. If I pop on my feed and I see somebody's live and I just pop in for 3 seconds and see Cadence in the chat every time, what does that say? You understand? It's a false analogy. Just because I can notice her in these certain places as I glance in is not the same as me being there with her. You understand?
With Christy Lee dolls, though, you were saying, "Oh, I saw Christy Lee dolls here. I saw Christy Lee dolls there." So wouldn't you have to be there to see her there? Unless you
get out of here,
unless, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Get out of here. You're fascinated.
Wait, what does that say?
You're fascinated with every woman that I pay attention to that's not you. Get out of here. You're much better in the chat than a panel member. Audience, vote. Should I ever have Heidi up? Put 1 in the chat if I should never have Heidi up on panel again. 2 in the chat if you would like to see Heidi on panel. Please vote. 1 for never hearing Heidi's voice again on panel, just having her in chat. I want to hear it. See, Nuba wants you up here, Heidi. You have a fan in Nuba. Damn, Emmanuel wants you up here too. All the guys are putting 2s.
Said he was in if I
Apparently,
started coming
Heidi,
up on your show.
the crowd wants to hear from you, apparently.
You had to say something rude to him, and I was like, "What the f?"
Who?
Gary Baxter. You said, "Oh,
You're
of course."
just running off at the mouth. What the fuck are you? I didn't even have you on panel, and you're just talking to yourself. What are you
Yesterday
saying?
morning. See, you don't even know what you're doing. Yesterday morning, when you said, "Oh, Heidi," something like you're doing with Cadence right now, about me coming to your show or whatever, and I was just like, nope. And I knew you were just kidding, but Gary Baxter said, I'm in. And then you said, of course, Gary Baxter, because you're a dirty old man or something.
Heidi, I
I knew
literally
you
have.
were just kidding.
I have no clue, nor does the audience have any clue what you're talking about right now.
It was just yesterday. Why is it when somebody says this happened, you or I type things in chat, you say, I have no clue what you're talking about?
Because nobody cares and nobody's paying attention. Do you understand? Everybody's chatting all the time. It's like this is the metaverse. There's like trillions and trillions of bits of information and data flying around the etherverse every millisecond. You're stuck on like a random thing somebody said in a chat days ago.
No, it was just yesterday. And last night, Random Fan was talking about the histrionic thing, and it made me remember. So I'm not stuck on.
You guys really voted for me to have Heidi up here? Are you guys just trying to sync my show? Everybody put 2s in the chat. You're all guys, which is weird to me. Again, evidencing the extreme simp-like behavior. Most of you men around here. Yeah, like Emmanuel says. It's like Heidi's got a soap opera going. I know she's going to be pissed. Heidi, why do you need to make this about you? Why is this about you now? Like when did
I'm not
when
pissed.
did this shit come on? What's going on? What's going on here?
Not pissed. I'm not making it about me. I had a question. I don't need to be up here. You know that.
Well, apparently the audience wants you up here, even though I disagree. I think you're better in the chat.
Okay.
Because there's only one thing that's going to happen with you being up here. You know, I'm just going to kind of do my thing, and you're going to get annoyed. You're going to rage quit my show for like a week. Then you'll come back. Then a month later, you'll come up on panel again. And we'll just keep repeating this dysfunctional cycle over and over and over again.
What are you talking about?
But you will. We all know you will. Everybody who comes up here does eventually. Especially those who come up with like some expectation of me.
I didn't rage quit your show. I didn't even rage quit Paul's show. I just knew it was time to not be there.
Why do all my interactions with these ladies of the Z show always turn into some kind of middle school like push and pull? Heidi comes, she pushes me, I pull her pigtails. What's going on? This is infantile. It happens every time with you ladies. It's not good. Can we break this cycle? Childish dysfunction? It's too much. Like, I don't need problems from you ladies. Look, if I'm going to take shit from some, like, female, some woman, it's got to be worth it for me. You understand? There has to be a value exchange. So if I'm serving value, like, for you by, like, being a receptacle for all your, like, emotions, if I'm going to be basically your emotional tampon, I'm going to need something out of the deal, Heidi. You kind of see how that works? What am I getting out of this deal? So Heidi gets to come up here. She gets to have her Z drama. She gets to have this whole melodrama that she's playing out in her mind and her imagination. But what am I getting out of it, Heidi? Is it the same thing that Baxter's getting out of his living situation with Cadence? Just I get to experience like your winning personality. What the fuck am I getting out of it? Please help me. Can you answer the question?
How has this turned into anything emotional? I was just having a conversation with you.
What was that?
How has this turned into something that's so emotional? I'm having a conversation with you.
Because you're consistently emotional.
Mm. Don't we all have emotions? But I'm not emotional.
Yeah, but somehow I'm
about
supposed to be like involved in yours. I'm supposed to be like involved in all the Heidi emotions.
Absolutely
Something
not.
that
I
you
was
heard that
asking
I
you a
said like a
question.
month ago.
Yeah. I just was I'm in observation. I'm witnessing what's going on with Cadence as everyone else. And I was curious if that's what you're doing. You're diagnosing people with disorders and saying, "Oh, well, I was just curious." But you have a show to do. I don't really want to be on panel. It just made me remember that. But I
Can somebody help me? Is there anybody out there? Or am I in this alone? Where's Snafu Snaps? He gets me. Of all people. It's Snafu Snaps that understands the plight. The plight that men like me experience when dealing with the fairer sex, so to speak. Hey, ladies, here's a little memo out to the ladies of the metaverse. I'm not really here to deal with your emotions. I'm not here to deal with your delusions, your thoughts that derive from your solipsistic experience that really has no relationship to external reality. I'm kind of not here for that. I'm really not interested in it. I know many of you ladies, you're just used to it. You're used to the army of simps that make up today's modern man. You're used to them just spending their time, energy, attention on all of your nonsense. Sorry. I'm kind of over that stuff. I'm not really interested in it. It serves no value for me. It really doesn't benefit me. So why am I going to continue engaging in a behavior that serves me no benefit whatsoever? Could you explain that, Heidi? Why would I continue to engage in a relationship where I benefit zero? Please.
I have no answer for that. You wouldn't.
Right. I would not. Many guys would, though. Many guys do. Like almost every guy. Men are conditioned to a feeling of obligation towards this simp-like behavior.
Well, I don't know. You know, you say you've never been just friends with a lady because there's always other intentions. Maybe this is your learning curve that you can just be friends with a lady.
So I need to learn something from my audience.
No,
That I
of
need to be
course not.
friends.
We have no value.
So Heidi,
We
you
have no
come up here
value.
and you tell me that I need to open myself up and be
No,
friends. And
you
Cadence
don't
does the
have
same
to.
thing. Z,
You don't
you need to
have
open
to
yourself up.
do
You need to
anything.
be friends with these ladies.
No, I'm not saying that. Don't flip my words, sir.
Does anybody want to come up here and talk some sense into Heidi? She doesn't appear to be giving me any, like any credence or value. Does anybody want to come up here and
I
speak
have
to her?
nothing else to say. I just wanted to talk about that. Now we're here. I can go back and chat. I don't need to be up here, sir. But you have a very interesting take on everything. As far as even the friendships that other people have of the male-female dynamic.
What was that?
I know, you've already tapped out. Do your show, sir. Do your show.
Ruled by Saturn says she's in a bad mood. Right, Ruled by Saturn. I'm just expected to deal with like Heidi's bad moods because Heidi
I'm
feels
not
as
in a
though
bad
what?
mood.
So Heidi
I'm
feels
just
as though
really
what? She
mellow.
has some kind of like what? Like what is it, Heidi? I owe you what? Attention to your
Nothing.
moods. I'm
No.
responsible. So I come on. So let's get this straight. So Z comes on, does his show.
I'm not in a bad mood.
There's a
just
bunch
really
of people that
mellow.
listen and stuff. I mean, not as much as some shows. I don't have like 1 million subscribers, but like more than 5 people listen to me. Okay. So I'm supposed to come on and then be responsible for the emotions and the well-being of like all my listeners who choose to be here,
No.
or just you?
No. Absolutely not. I would not wish that for anybody. I'm just really mellow. I'm sorry I can't be chipper Heidi every moment.
Oh my God. I'm over it. Nuba. Where are the vibes, Nuba? What vibe level are we on right now? Have we dropped below 5? We may have. I think we dipped into the red in terms of vibe meter. Thanks, Heidi. Heidi wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, and then all of a sudden, like, my whole show vibes have to dip into the red. Now, I don't even have the Melodome broadcasting this morning to switch over and suck up their high vibes. Awesome Austin, can you do me a favor? Can you just always be available whenever the vibes drop too low on Z show? Like, I could maybe give you a call, or you'll go live, bring the vibes up. It's not going to be like too much of a commitment, Austin. You'll just need to be available on call to bring the vibes up. Yeah, even that weirdo, Top G, he wants the high vibes. And he's a culted up goofy weirdo from the Midwest. Hey, Top G, don't you have some corn to harvest or whatever you do out there? Get busy. Get busy. Hey, Heidi, can I start my segment now? Can I? Top G says, actually, that was me making fun of you, dork. Hey, Top G, get a life. Sorry. Look in the mirror. Just recognize you're a culted up weirdo. Get help. Strange. I'll give you a chance to come up and talk, Top G. You can come up and talk. Because I might just ban you from the chat. Just on principle. Just I really don't give a fuck. Come on, Top G. I'm giving you a window. Let's see if you'll put your money where your mouth is. We'll give him some time. Or I'll just ban him. It's all right, Top G. I'll just ban you. Just on principle. I mean, you can come up and talk to me, but I really don't want to see you in chat. Here's the thing about my trolls. You can come over here and like troll me. That's fine. But when you incessantly troll me for like 4 months on end, I'm probably going to ban you. Just saying. I mean, my audience sees it. I see it. It's an amazing behavior I see with people. Like the dedication to like hate watch somebody for months on end. It's quite astounding. It's also pathetic, kind of. But again, Top G, you can always come up and speak for yourself. Now Special K is trying to talk to Heidi. You know what? Let's just even take it up a notch. Where are you, Heidi? Heidi, I'm banning you from the channel. Bye, Heidi. So long. Feel better. That way you won't have to worry about it, Heidi. I won't have to be worried about your emotions. You won't have to be worried about mine. And I'll save you the aggravation. You don't have to think about throwing your phone in the water. You know, I did it for you, Heidi. I'm actually helping you. Zachocracy says, hate watchers get that dopamine rush from their outrage addiction. Those neurons are all kinds of crossed from bad habits. That's a good way to look at it. Well said there, Zach. It's a strange phenomenon. It's something that I would never do. Like, I could never find myself turning on YouTube and like watching a channel for hate. But that's just me. It's just not my personality. I just move on from the content. I go, oh, okay, this isn't for me. And then who knows? Maybe like a couple months later, I revisit. I say, oh, maybe I want to listen to them again. Maybe I'm in a different place, different mood. But what is strange to me is like the ones who are dedicated in their hating. And then a lot of it's just, they're probably just looking for a reaction and they're just poking. But to do it each morning for months on end, that's the strange part to me. At least we're aware of it. I wonder what Heidi's up to right now as she's realizing that she's been banned from my channel. Mateo says it's called jealousy. Are you out of the shower, Mateo? Are you ready to come up and demonstrate your push-ups? I've been waiting for you. I had that whole debacle with Heidi where she decided that she's going to lose her mind for some reason. Waiting for you to come up here. Cadence. I'm kicking you out too. Bye. Bye, Cadence. Nobody wants to see you spam my chat. So you're gone. Mateo, I don't even want to read that. Okay, I'll read it. He says, I drained my balls. Mateo, maybe not something you want to say on YouTube. But either way, how's that stopping you from hitting the link? Come on, sir. How many times do I have to drop the link? I drained my balls. Yeah, that is too much information. Like, how'd that go down, Mateo? Were you listening to me in the shower as you drained your balls? Like, how did that go down? Like, you've now created a mental image that's going to be very difficult to escape. Oh, before the shower. So you drain your balls, then you take a shower. Did you at least turn the volume down on my show? Come clean, Mateo. Did you masturbate while listening to Z's show? Yeah, that is weird. But he says I wasn't alone. Yeah, you had all of us along for the ride. Apparently. He says I wasn't alone. Now he's flexing on everybody. What do you mean you weren't alone? Was it that Puerto Rican hooker that frequents your neighborhood? Mateo, we remember the story where you met that Puerto Rican chick. It was her, wasn't it? Come clean. You fucked a Puerto Rican hooker that works your street corner. Admit it. I knew it. All right, that's enough. Let me get into my segment. I've already alienated half of my female listeners. We got rid of Cadence. We got rid of Heidi. Christy Lee Dolls, we got rid of her a long time ago. And don't worry, I've banned plenty of men too. Just so we get it straight. Z hates women. No, I'm just pointing out the women who've been banned this morning. Look, ladies, if you can't get it under control, I'm going to have to control you. Heidi apparently says she's not histrionic. Well, she's at least hysterical in some way. There's some kind of hysterics going on this morning. I'm not sure what it is. We need to go back to some old-time medical treatment. When these ladies used to get hysterical, there was a certain treatment that was administered towards these ladies. Does anybody know what it was? Well, Z's going to tell you what it was. Yes. Clitoral manipulation to stimulate orgasm. That's right. Whenever these ladies would get a little too cuckoo, they start climbing the walls, as evidenced by Heidi and Cadence. They needed the fire put out. Extinguished. Clitoral stimulation. Emmanuel knows. Manual stimulation of the clitoris. To achieve orgasm. These are the realities, guys, of life. Don't judge me, says that sounds hot. Yeah. You'd go to your doctor, he would take care of business. Make doctors great again, everybody. It's when it used to be fun to be a doctor. Crazy chick like Cadence or Cadence comes in. Oh, doc, I don't know. My thoughts are racing. I'm kind of manic. I'm kind of depressed. I'm all over the place. My emotions are just running wild. What do I do? The doctor just says, lay down, ma'am. Oh, doc, what are you doing to me? What is this? Don't worry. It's for your own good. I wonder if they had any devices. Like, is that where the dildo was invented? The vibrator, at least? The vibrator seems to have been invented for medical purposes. And now it's just kind of used in the day-to-day lives of you lovely guys and dolls. But I'm calling for it. Bring back the practice of manual clitoral stimulation for the treatment of hysterics. I think some of you ladies need it. Hey, it's better than that Xanax Valium they got all you ladies on. Guys, have you ever looked into the prevalence of a psychoactive pharmaceutical use amongst the female population, specifically? Head meds, everybody. Head meds. There'd be a lot less head meds if there was a lot more orgasms. Places that these ladies can go to have their needs met. Who knows? Maybe some of you can offer your services. Oh, I got a guest in the back. I'm surprised. I don't have music for this guest. I got to think. This guest is Canadian, but he's not one of those French Canadians. He's one of those like Western province Canadians. I forget what province he said he's from, but it's one of those Western ones, like north of Montana. Which is good, because although I like Canadians, I'm not particularly fond of all you French Canadians. Don't take offense to it if you're French Canadian. I don't necessarily mean you. But my experience in general with French Canadians has been less than positive. Have you seen that OTW news? It appears to be completely insane. He might even be like demonically possessed in some way. Not quite human. More like a Gollum or Schmeagol-like character who happens to have like some trust fund money and a good computer setup. Special K knows. Yeah, we know how we feel about those French Canadians. They're goofy. They have goofy accents. Although, Special K, you have one of those Chicago accents, which is only slightly less goofy than the Canadian accent. I can't even attempt a Chicago accent. It's like, Z, what are you doing, Z? You have a show to do, Z. You kicked Heidi out of your show, Z? It's crazy. That was my Chicago accent. Special K. How do you think I did? Anyway, let's welcome up the guest, Mr. Jesse. How's it going, Jesse? Welcome back to Z Show.
How you doing today?
Howdy, Jesse. We're just letting it hang today. We're kind of, cleaning house. Sometimes you got to do a little, little house cleaning. You got to kind of let people know what's going on, put people kind of like in their place. We do that sometimes around Z Show. Usually what'll happen, Jesse, is like my subscribers will drop by like 5 or 7. But then within 3 days, like those same people just resubscribe again. Have you ever Jesse, you have a channel. Have you ever noticed? I mean, I don't know how many subscribers you have, but there's a certain group of people that are like, they teeter on the border. So they'll like unsubscribe, then they'll subscribe again, and then you get some more subscribers, then they'll go away. And, it slowly goes up over time. But have you noticed any of these things? What is it with people? The hate watchers, the ambivalent people, the people who show, maybe some type of ambiguity in terms of their feelings towards one's content? Have you experienced any of these things?
Well, I don't really monitor things like that. We've got around like almost 40,000 subscribers on our different channels. So I don't know, I don't really see that. But yesterday I got sent a message by someone that I did a truth telethon with. And she's been hating me ever since for 3 years, since her and the other person we did it with got into a fight. And she's been saying nonstop bad things about me and my girlfriend for 3 years now. She can't stop talking about me. And I guess the newest one was, what is with this Jesse Howe going on all these panels and all these things? Because I guess she kind of went and she was, she didn't go on the panels, but she's been frequenting them in the comments, and I guess she doesn't like that I'm on all these different panels now. So I've got a little bit of hate that I heard about yesterday.
Well, that's funny for a couple of reasons. One, the fact that somebody's holding on to something from 3 years ago, something that's probably so insignificant. That it's like what I had Heidi up on earlier. Like, apparently I made a passing comment that she's been holding on to for a while, and then they express it years later. And then too, to make a comment about you in these panels. Let me ask you, so what interesting. So you have a decent amount of subscribers. I knew you had a pretty large channel, when it comes to social media. 40K is a pretty big number of subscribers. What do you do over your channel, Jesse? Is it interviews? Do you do videos? What's your content look like?
So we interview people from all around the world, different walks of life, especially people that are being censored. We've interviewed over 60 doctors that speak out against the agenda. We've interviewed David Icke and Del Bigtree, Lee Camp, Max Egan just got us another strike on our YouTube channel. We've had 4 YouTube channels deleted, and we're on 2 strikes on our 5th channel, but we just don't care. I used to tell everybody not to say things like, the V or the C, but then, I just let people free. And if, I have to put it on private on YouTube, that's the only one that's been giving me flack, except for when we first did that first Truth Telethon, that one 3 years ago, the one that keeps bitching on my 13-year Facebook account got deleted 5 days before we put on the Truth or Telethon, and or the Truth Telethon, and then I've been getting lots of YouTube channels deleted ever since. But I'm about putting out the truth and deal with any repercussions that it has. And we're on 10 different platforms right now, so if one goes down, we're still on 9 other platforms.
Yeah, nice move with that. And I'm kind of the same spot. It's like, look, if I'm going to need to dance for YouTube, there's only so much dancing I'm going to do. They hit me with a strike because I played copyrighted stuff. The reality is everybody plays copyrighted stuff all the time, but I think I pushed it a little too far. I was playing some Disney stuff, and I was like showing the visual of it, and they took my stream down and just hit me with a strike. But I get what you're saying. There's only so much we can do. And I like your idea of you've diversified yourself amongst the social media. And that's where I'm going to go with my stuff. I'm going to diversify a bit more. I started a channel on Rumble. I started an Odyssey channel. For anybody out there, just go to @ZateticWarrior on Rumble. It's the same thing on Odyssey. If you want to find me, one word, Zatetic Warrior. I'm going to get my Facebook going and an IG going. Because I figured, Jesse, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it. I can't just kind of like halfway do things. If I'm going to come here, put the time, energy, attention into doing a show, being an online persona, I got to kind of like, really do the social media thing. But I like your attitude. You kind of just bring it. But you mentioned some heavy hitters. So you do more of like an interview format. So you'll invite people on, you'll interview. Do you do it live, or do you record and then premiere your interviews? How's that work?
No, everything is live. I like it that way for a few reasons. Sometimes with some of these big heavy hitters, when you interview them, people chop it up and make them look different than what they are. I've come across that, but we've started at just doing things live right from the beginning. By show 7, we had Lee Camp. Show 8, we had Sasha Stone. Show 15, we had David Icke. We've interviewed Judy Mikovits and a whole bunch of really famous doctors, but it's been really fortunate to have it. But we stream live to Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. I think we stream live to 6 platforms, and then we upload to 3, and then Dollar Vigilante TV picked up our show as well. So then they upload our show onto their platform.
Gotcha. Have you been able to see any financial gain through your endeavors here? Is it rewarding in that way? And if so, how long did it take you to get to some point of, receiving and seeing some type of profits?
Well, for the first year, everything, because we've been doing this about 2.5 years now, and we've done almost 600 interviews. In a couple weeks, it's going to be our 600th interview. And actually, my girlfriend's going to interview me for our 600th. We always try to get someone big for that, but self-funded for the first year, nothing. We had 150,000 hours watched on YouTube before we got our first channel deleted, and never saw a cent from YouTube. Rumble pays us for content, for views and stuff, and we're up to like $250 in 2 years that we made on Rumble. But people, we have Facebook subscriptions where people can pay $3.99 a month to donate. We're up to like 18 subscriptions or whatever. And then people can donate Facebook stars, which for the last 2 years, it's sort of for the last year and a half probably, it's been covering all the costs. And then people send PayPals for donations, or people send checks and things like that. But we're not really making a lot of money, but we don't ask for money. We just thank people. At the very bottom of all of our interviews, we say if people would like to donate, they could buy a few products, but we don't push the products and we don't ask for money. I know this one content creator that was he wanted to help me. He's asked for money all the time. Every show he says, I need your money. My laptop went down. I need your money. He made $150K US but he basically is asking for money, begging for money all the time. So if you're constantly putting into people's faces that you need money and all this, then they're more likely to send it. Then for us, we don't push our products. We don't ask for money. So we do get, we've got a few base donations, but we don't make a lot of money yet. So haven't figured out how to really monetize without begging people for money.
Yeah, I get that. Hold on. Freedom Grow says I didn't find you on Rumble's link. I could try to pull the link, Freedom, but just at Zetetic Warrior, one word, Freedom Grower. You do one word. Try that. Interesting, Jesse. Yeah, because there's multiple ways to monetize, and I think each one has its own benefits and its own limitations. I do see these smaller content creators that do have a strong base of support from their very loyal following. But what I conjecture is that there's a limitation with that type of approach, because I think what happens is, although one may develop a core group of very loyal listeners and acolytes that will donate consistently, I think it becomes self-limiting in a point, because I think one will then have a tendency to cater their material to their core audience, even if it's unconsciously. And I think it'll in some way can affect the content, the quality of it. And I think it may lead to a group like think and what we consider like this cult-like behavior that I find on the internet. So I do think, although one may be able to gain some degree of success, at least in the short term, I think it may be to the detriment of long-term success. The other way is the old-fashioned way. It seems like if you have an audience, Jesse, wouldn't people want to pay you to promote their products? I see this a lot on these with these influencers to whatever degree. If you have listeners, if people have eyes on you, seems like there would be entities, companies that would be willing to, promote their products through your channel. Is that something you thought of, or do you have any concerns there? What are your thoughts?
Well, my next step is to build a website and try to put all the content through there, if I can. I have a lot of companies that send me emails. They'll pay me $2,000 per week, $2,500 per week, $700 per day to promote their stuff. Haven't really entertained it. Talked to the one guy, and he's got to give him access to my Facebook. So I don't know if these things are scams or what, because it seems like it seems quite high for the amount of viewers that we do have, but
Right.
haven't really gone that route, and just careful about the scammers, because there's so many scammers out there.
Yeah. I was wondering about that too. Like you said, it seems quite high for your viewers. So you wonder, what's the influence? Because I'm often wondering, like, how, like our friend Snef who snaps, he refers to the term POGO, which apparently stands for privately owned, government operated, when it comes to these platforms, these channels, these presenters, content creators. And it makes sense that if I wanted to influence somebody's content, one way to do so would be to infiltrate using the person's desire for financial gain. So say I wanted to influence Jesse's content. Say you're throwing out some like real juicy truthiness, and I wanted to fuck with your content. Well, maybe I come along and I offer you a lucrative deal. I say, hey, Jesse, I see your viewers, and like I said, I'll give you $2,000 a month or whatever to promote this. And so now you start promoting it. Now you got that money coming in. Now you alter your lifestyle based on that income. Then all of a sudden I start to say, you know what, Jesse, I love what you're doing, but that last show you did where you kind of maybe said that, I don't know, you challenged germ theory, or you had some doctor on that questioned the last 3 years. That was a little too controversial for our company, Jesse. So maybe tone that down a little bit. And then, we won't have any problems. And then you can see how the content creator can then be influenced. But the reality is, Jesse, whether or not that money's coming in from some company for promotion of their product, or even private donations, the potential for subterfuge is the same. Because let's take a content creator who's getting donations from his listeners, and each week 3 listeners are donating $100. That's $300 a week. That's nothing to shake a stick at, especially if you're a small content creator. You don't know where those donations are coming from. Those donations may be just from some generic online name, I think I see here like DeFreak RT. Now I happen to have seen RT, but you know what I'm saying? Some random person's donating you $100 a week. You don't know who they are. You don't know if there's some organization that has an interest in your content. And then all of a sudden you start to see that when you do certain content, their donations start to drop off. Or they send you a message and say, hey, I know I donate you $100 a month, but I couldn't do it last month because I don't know. I didn't maybe like the stream you did on this, that, and the other thing. Then all of a sudden, you as a content creator, you now, even if you're consciously aware of it or not, you are now influenced by your listeners. So the reason I'm speaking about this, Jesse, is because I've been thinking about these things lately, because I'm in a position now as my channel starts to grow a little bit. I'm starting to think about these things. How can I monetize? Should I monetize? Why not monetize? What's the potential downfalls of doing it? So I've been contemplating all these things. So it's interesting to hear from you, who seems to have, a fair number of subscribers. Have you approached this? And also hearing from you, you have a pretty good amount of subscribers amongst these things, and that knowing that making an income is difficult for even you. Jesse, I know content creators in this, let's call it this truth realm that we all seem to be generally categorized in, that have 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. They're really not earning what could be considered like a livable wage by most standards. So it begs the question, why are we here? What's the goal? What's the realistic landscape when it comes to earning a living here? and what that means for all these creators. Go ahead, floor is yours. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, for me, I've been looking to enlighten people to what's going on for 30 plus years. So whether I get any income from it or not, it makes no difference to me. I don't like going to these truth channels and then you turn it on and all of a sudden for the first 5 minutes they're thanking sponsors and all this kind of stuff because I'm wanting to get to the information. So a lot of stuff that people have been doing is turning me off, and so I don't ever want to do that for other people. But for some of these products that people can buy, like this hydrogen water machine. So we've had this guy on and on our we've interviewed him I think 3 or 4 times now, and every time someone buys a water machine we get 250 US. So so I guess we've sold at least 10 or 15 water machines. So there is some money that has come from these water machines, but we don't ever talk, hey, thanks to you need to buy these water machines. We don't like to tell people that, and we're trying to figure out maybe at the very end of our interview, putting in a little 30-second clip or a minute clip or whatever. Hey, if you like our channel, these are the ways that you can support. You can buy these water machines or buy some glutathione or something like that. But it's a fine line between, for at least for me, on getting the truth out there, like the real truth, talking about these what's going on with the agenda and stuff, opposed to trying to make a money off of it, because that does turn people off if they're just money orientated and look like that person's about the money, not about the truth. So I rather be about the truth than about making an income. And if I have to keep painting and renovating houses in order to continue on the show, I'm fine with that as well.
Gotcha. I like your attitude there. I was going to ask you about what you do in terms of earning a living, things like that. Because we just assume, Jesse, that everybody needs to earn a living. We don't know that. You don't know people's situations. You could be a guy who inherited a shitload of money. You don't have to work. Well, apparently you're not one of those guys because you're painting and renovating. I do a lot of the same stuff, Jesse. I don't know if you know my history. I don't want to make it about me. I'd rather make it about you. But I was in healthcare for a number of years, right? And on a doctoral level, okay? So, I decided to leave healthcare for, let's just say, reasons. Now I do other things to kind of make my living, and it's certainly not here online. Let me ask you, when you say you're about the truth and promoting truth, I'm not going to ask you what you think truth is, because there's a lot of ways to answer that. But I'll ask you this instead. What motivates you? What motivates you to come on here, put your ass on the line, really, present the things that you present, say the things that you say? I know what motivates me. I can imagine what it motivates you, but I'd like to hear it, man. What gets you doing this?
Source guides my way. So, it's just a calling that I've been awake and aware to what's going on. Like I said, for 30 plus years that I've been sharing things and wanting this world to be a better place. I see how this world is supposed to be. I've seen it for a very long time, and I think that everybody plays their part in making it a better place. And the more people that are brave and speak out, like I have been for 30 years, it just gets other people to be brave. And because of the stuff that I've done, a whole bunch of people have started shows, doing things, and they've said, you've been a big inspiration on on us being able to to do what we're doing, and we're kind of leading the way. But I think that this world's got a lot of problems, and the more we talk about it, the more we share against the indoctrination, against the programming, the more content creators, the better. However big or small that may be, everybody plays their little part in making this world a better place or a destructive place. Just choose wisely on what you and your energy you're putting out into the world is.
Jesse, I'm trying to find your channel so I could drop the link, but it doesn't come up when I'm searching the missing link on YouTube.
The
Am I
Missing
missing
Link Live. Because we've had so many channels, we're at the Missing Link Live, it's called.
Let me check it out. What's your icon look like?
On my face.
Oh, there you are. The Missing Link Live. This can't be it. You only have 379 subscribers.
Like I said, so after our third channel got deleted, we were like, fuck YouTube. And we didn't go on YouTube for like 8 or 9 months. And then because, someone I interviewed, Jack, he was, doing his little things about, he asked me if I could, help, him out with, his journey. And do more things with him. I said I was really busy. I said, why don't you just go and do lives? Just get out there and you start connecting with people. And this was maybe like a year or a year and a half ago. And then all of a sudden I seen him and doing these lives, and then he was getting beat up by a lot of people, verbally. So I always have been one of those type of people that whenever people are getting bullied, I like to stand up for the bullies. And so I started, seeing what was going on, hanging out more. Then I kind of got dragged into it because of guilt by association, I guess, type of thing. And so because of that, we decided to start another YouTube channel. I had a backup YouTube channel as well. Forbidden History Chronicles was another show that I did with this guy called the Desert Owl. And so we were doing the Missing Links on there, but then that channel got deleted. And like I said, this one's got 2 strikes, but this is our 5th channel. But I don't really care so much about YouTube because of all the restrictions and a lot of the good juicy interviews I have to put on private or delete after it's done anyways if anybody's talking too much code words. So that's just to have an extra presence, as our 10th channel. But, our big ones are, Facebook and Rumble are the 2 big ones that we've been, that we have a lot of subscribers and a lot of views on.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I dropped the link in the chat for everybody for Jesse's YouTube channel, The Missing Link. So Jesse, so basically what you're saying is we have you to blame for the rise of Mr. Jack Talcott. Interesting. We're hearing Jack Talcott's origin story. He seems like he's been around social media for a while, but I agree. It just seems like over the last year, he made this push to do like a live presence here, to be a panelist, to host a panel show. We've seen the evolution, the story of Mr. Jack Talcott. It's interesting to hear that you kind of were the one that encouraged him at some point to present here on YouTube. And, you characterize him as being bullied, which is interesting. We have this term cyberbullying and the dynamics that play out on the metaverse are, there's a lot to it. But I'm just wondering with Mr. Talcott, like anybody, it seems like there's a part of this game that just involves being put up for ridicule, right? So to be out here is placing oneself in a position of vulnerability. We're exposing ourselves. It's the other side of the coin, Jesse. I think that's why it's not for everybody. Only certain people really can do it because, like you said, much like myself, I consider my desire to spread what I consider truth to be my primary motivator here. Okay, I consider that to be my primary motivation. But the reality is there's another side of that. It's not without consequence. When you come up here and you place yourself out in front of people, you're exposing yourself to a degree that many can't handle. You talked a little bit about some of the issues you've had. Can you speak a little bit more to maybe some of the challenges of presenting yourself online as an online personality, at least to some degree? It's not all fun and games. And a lot of it, at least for me, Jesse, I'll speak for myself, has been disheartening. Not necessarily now. I've learned, I've evolved, I've grown through the process, but it took me a period of time to adjust to some of the negativity here online, and I'm wondering if you could speak on some of that.
Yeah, so like I said, I've been at this for a very, very long time. You know, started off on Facebook before I started doing all these interviews. I was just strictly on Facebook, and for, you know, putting out the truth, what I, instead of being just all about, you know, the craziness in the world, all about the conspiracies, and be too much for people, I would do a mix. I would post things that were funny, I would post things that were cute, and then I'd throw in something about the world or conspiracy. Funny, cute, conspiracy, just kind of keeping a good mix and stuff. And you know, during the journey, like I had this one guy that was a supporter of almost everything that I did, almost liked every one of my posts and shared them and all that for about a year and a half. And then one day I said, you know, we're all in this together. And he went off, that's a UN slogan, you're promoting the UN. And he just went off on me because I said we're all in this together. And I didn't actually hear that it was a UN slogan before that. Did some research, saw that they were using that kind of thing. But you know, when I interviewed, say, David Icke, you know, oh, Jesse's this, how could he get David Icke on his show? And David Icke is this controlled opposition and all these things. So a lot of times I interview people, like how I got David Icke was I knew a guy that got interviewed by his son. And then he gave me his son's email address. And he said, ask his son if he'll come on your show, or maybe even ask David. And I didn't even know who his son was because I'd never been a big follower of David Icke. I just obviously heard the name and seen the clips and stuff. And I just went straight and asked David Icke to come on, and he came on. And so because of that, me getting hammered by both sides or whatever, you know, I asked him some like tough questions. I've ever been asked to be in a secret society. How come you're allowed to speak when all these other people are being censored? Stuff like people don't ask him, right? But yet, you know, you get hammered by the people, and then you get targeted by hate. Some people have, you know, said they tried to make my facial structure and said that he's a female and all this kind of stuff. And you get these hate campaigns, and it's just easier to, you know, like I'm very intelligent and I'm very eloquent with my words, so I can really hammer people if I want to. And I was doing that for a point, and then I was just, you know, it's just easier just to block them and just get that energy out of your life. But in order to come online and put a target on yourself, you definitely have to have thick skin or a good way of, you know, dealing with the bullies, dealing with the hate, because you're just going to get that, because people that hate themselves are easy to project that hate towards others.
Yeah, no doubt. I've dealt with some of that here too. Like I've, you know, had people on my show, and you get the same thing. Oh, how did you interview that person? They're controlled up. That means you're controlled up. And you're thinking, how many assumptions can we make here? You know, you're assuming about a person, and then you're assuming my intentions. And I realize a lot of people just project. The other thing you mentioned, I've noticed here too, is about alliances here on the metaverse and social media, in this digital construct world that we seem to find ourselves in. You never know. You never know who your friends are. People turn on a dime. Alliances come and go. So-called friendships come and go here. I've learned really not to emotionally invest in really any relationship I make here. It's helping me because I'm the kind of person, Jesse, that, you know, I guess we all have a tendency to project in good and bad ways. People project their negativity, but people also project their positivity. And I'll project that on people. I'll assume good intentions with somebody, even if it's unconsciously. And I think there's a lesson to be learned there, because I kind of got burnt here in the metaverse multiple times, getting emotionally involved in some kind of relationship that I have here, only to realize that it was not being reciprocated in some form. So in a lot of ways, I do think it's a process of development for the creator of content. And I think for anybody to have any staying power here, you do have to develop that thick skin. And you can't really take anything too seriously. And you have to understand that with the accolades, with any positive critique, if you're going to accept that, if you're going to accept the positive, you got to accept the negative too. They're two sides of the same coin, really. So it's an interesting landscape here. So let me ask you this one. Let's go back to Mr. Jack Talcott in particular, because Jack Talcott has a very similar show to mine and others. There are these panel shows, Jesse. It seems like your content is a little bit different. You seem to do targeted interviews, which is a different format, right? You invite people on, whether it's live or not, you interview them. You have a chance to prep. And I'm sure there's pluses and minuses, but there's the panelverse here, which to me is a relatively new development in social media. And it stems mainly from the advancements we saw through things like StreamYard, Zoom, and these other types of platforms regarding connectivity stemming from the pandemic era, okay? You saw rapid advancements in utilization of these technologies, not just online, but with companies. All of a sudden, you're part of a corporation, you know, these large organizations, and no longer are you doing the in-person meetings, people getting together over Zoom calls, StreamYard. This technology has led to what I see as this new form of entertainment, information, and social media content, the panelverse. You have the Paul Enslaves, the Zetetic Warriors, the Jack Talcotts, the London Mans. I'm just like throwing people, channels that I've frequented and stuff, and so many others, and ones that we don't even know about. This new content, the panels. What are your thoughts on these panels? Do they have legs? Are they valuable? We see people are interested in them. It gives the idea, it brings the community into the process. So now no longer are there the presenters and the chatters. The chatters now become involved in the content. It's an interesting dynamic. I want to know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think it's like, giving a voice to the voiceless, giving a place for people to be heard, to show, who they are, and give, everybody matters. And, I think that's very important. But just remember, not everybody's for everybody. So you're going to agree with some people, you're going to love people, you're going to disagree with other people. And, it depends on what you kind of energy you want to surround yourself with. We actually did a few panels, on the missing link, where we did one on, talking about the Bible panel. And we did another panel on galactics, people that are the Galactic Federation. I've just been so busy. There's other panels that people want to have on targeted individuals, and I want to have a panel of doctors. So I've got a lot of this, obviously being on these panels with Jack has, given me, more inspiration to do more panels. It's just right now where we've got about 50 interviews pre-booked. So we're booking into the middle of December right now. And, I was actually thinking you would be a great interview if that would interest you, not only to bring you more exposure, but just to get your story out, onto the missing link. So that's something I'd be interested in as well.
Yeah, that's something I'd consider. I think it would be a good conversation if we sat down. I was in healthcare, man. I was there for the the whole 2020 thing. Not only was I a practitioner and a provider at a pediatric hospital, but I was also in management. Okay, so I was supervising a department within the hospital. I got to see things, from an on-the-ground level when it came to that whole time period. I got to watch everything play out. So I have a pretty unique perspective when it comes to that. It's one of the reasons why I'm here doing this, Jesse, is I've seen what's happened, not only just in the last 3 years, but in these modern times. I've seen the change in society and culture. I've seen people change. That's probably one of my biggest things, Jesse, is the change I've noticed in people's behaviors, how people interact with each other, the concepts of morality, principles, integrity. I've seen a shift away from these ideals. I've seen a shift towards a more narcissistic, solipsistic society. I'm seeing a society in which men and women are quite self-interested, callous, and cold. I'm seeing a world that these children are growing up in that I really don't agree with, and I think is quite dysfunctional. One of the reasons why I'm here doing this, man, I'm sure you could probably relate in many ways. That's what motivates me to come here, spend my time, energy, and attention here. It's because I feel as though there's value in this above and beyond any direct short-term gain like finances and things like that. And I know there's always the promise of money. There's always the promise of proceeds and doing something here financially, but that's certainly not what is motivating me to get on here every single weekday morning and doing this. I'm doing this for other reasons, and I'm sure we all have our own reasons for doing this. But yeah, I look forward to, man. If you want to get me on and do an interview, I pick and choose my interviews, Jesse. I don't want to overexpose myself. And the other thing I've noticed is that I'm kind of targeting my demographic, right? So I do think you'd probably be a good channel for me. I think some people do like a scattergun, like a shotgun approach to promoting their content. But I think that could backfire because if you promote your content to a community that's maybe not quite appropriate for the content, I don't think it's really valuable. You may get a bunch of subscribers, but maybe not a lot of viewers, and you might get a lot of hate subscribers after that. So I'm kind of keeping that in mind. I'm doing like targeted interviews at this point. And Michael James says, great conversation. So let me drop the link for Jesse's Missing Link channel again. For those of you who may have missed it as I dropped it earlier. Jesse, this was a great conversation this morning, but I don't want to burn it out right now, dude. I appreciate you coming on again this morning. Do you have any final thoughts or any questions for me? Or
Well, I just wanted to mention when you said about preparing for the shows and stuff. So when we first started, we, especially when we did the Truth Telethon, my girlfriend stayed up all night researching every single one of the people so I could have all these questions. And for the first, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 interviews, I'd have all these notes and all these questions and stuff. But because I'd been at this for so long, and I'm fairly awake and aware to most things that are going on in the world, we kind of stopped that, and I just let source flow through me and guide the way. I don't prepare for any of the interviews. Maybe if I haven't heard the person, which a lot of people that I interview have never heard them before, maybe listen to a little bit of their stuff before, or not, is sometimes they just pop up on the screen. I ask them to tell us about themselves. They tell us, and then I just ask questions, and then I like to have the audience participate as well. They ask questions, I bring up the comment.
looks like Jesse froze up.
Are we back?
Nope, you're back.
Yeah, so it's kind of an audience participation thing as well, so it's kind of a little bit different. And the people that do watch our show and comment and come are a really good, solid base of people. We started this thing called the High Vibe Love Tribe when the lockdown first started, before we started doing all these interview stuff. There was I think it was in April 8th, there was a Meditate for the Earth Day with David Wilcock, and I've obviously been at this a long time, so I had quite lots of subscribers on Facebook, and I went live for the first time on my own. Like, I was on other people's shows and things like that, and did a few things on lives, but instead of putting out the truth, when everybody wanted everybody to be afraid when the lockdown first happened, we pivoted. And so we did a Meditate for the Earth Day, and then I went live and I brought my Tibetan singing bowl, started ringing it, and all of a sudden I had 20, 30, 40 people watching live of me ringing the bowl, and we had this great conversation. Everybody's like, you got to come back tomorrow, you got to come back tomorrow and do this again. So I went the next day, and then the next day, and then we decided to name it. I put everybody, what do you guys think of a good name out there? And so when at the beginning of the lockdown, April of 2020, for 11 straight months, I went live for 7 days a week for 2 to 4 hours a night to give people a safe space. Couldn't talk about the virus, couldn't talk about politics, couldn't talk about anything but raising vibration. So what I did was I put on some techno music, dance, I smoked a nice spliff, danced for about an hour, started at 15 minutes. And as I got in better shape over the 11 months, we would do an hour, sometimes an hour and a half of high energy, high vibration dancing, added some weights, got people, you know, energized, and then we calmed it down. And then we did a guided meditation. We brought healing frequencies, Tibetan singing bowl. I played the bongo drums. I did this Viking healing runes where you pick out stones. So we had a nice safe space. And at one point, it was so rocking on Facebook that we had like 3,400 live viewers at one time. So it was pretty wild before the censorship really started to take place. But that was kind of our service to humanity. While they wanted everybody to be afraid, we gave people a safe space to not be afraid. And a lot of people that would be researching all day long would come there just to, like, you know, come and work out and chill out and have a good place. And many people said that, you know, they actually, they said they're like, you actually saved our life, you know, through this, and helped people through it. So that's what we did, the High Vibe Love Tribe, and that's why I got asked to, you know, be a part of this, you know, Truth Telethon, which I ended up having to put it on with 2 other people because whatever they did went down the toilet. So I ended up doing most of the work on it, and was 12 straight hours. And then after that went to shit because that lunatic that I told you about that's been bashing me for 3 years, you know, she went all shit sideways. So then I just did my own show away from them, and that's how the Missing Link was born. But you know, just keep at it, do what you do. I don't know how I can give you, maybe in the private chat, I'll give you my email address, if you're my phone number, if you want to email me and contact me, and then we'll get you on the show. I think you're doing good work, and seems like, you know, there are a lot of people enjoy you and your content, and just alone the stuff about you being in the medical industry, I think that would be great to share your story on our show.
Cool, man. Yeah, just drop your email in the private chat, and I'll give you I'll hit you up, man. We'll talk. It's great having you, Jesse. Much love, dude.
Thanks. And may the source be with you all.
Right on. That's Jesse, everybody. Our new friend from the Missing Link. Like he said, his YouTube channel, he's like on his multiple numbered YouTube channel, and so his subscribers on YouTube are small, but he, you know, he has multiple platforms. And yeah, I'll go on for an interview. I think that'd be a good one. I like the vibe that he's got going. I've seen him on multiple panels now. He seems to be the real deal. I use my intuition with people. I use my discretion. I don't really need to like research somebody like Jesse. I don't even really have to go. Like, I'm going to check out his content, but like, I would have accepted an interview without even checking out his content because, you know, just a vibe. Johar says could be good for you. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like Rose. You know, I'm talking with Rose about, you know, Crow 777. A lot of you guys know Crow 777. He's a big content creator around these types of communities, and he would give me a lot of exposure. So that's another one. But I'm going to be selective in where I present myself moving forward. Because I've learned you gotta, because you're gonna pick up subscribers, and you want to know which subscribers do you want to pick up. Do they resonate with the types of content that I present? There's things like that. Guys, by no means am I like an expert on the subject. These are a lot of things I'm learning as I'm proceeding. Let's bring up my next guest. Let's bring him up. We're having a lot of guests this morning. We already had Heidi on earlier, and then I banned Heidi from my channel just because, she needs it. She needs to learn a little lesson. We had Jesse on. Now I'll welcome my next guest.
Dream a dream, find out what will be. Hey guys.
Morgan, how goes it on this fine morning?
Really good. I slept last night and I dreamt. That's great. I actually laid down and I have this feeling of not being in the world, but still being here. It's like, it's because of too much saturation of stuff, of Israel and everything. I'm not buying it. And I have a feeling of goodness, not fear. I think because of that overkill, and because now, I think maybe it's because we've got a community where we're all just focused on, I hope, the positive. I know I am. I think that we're all developing and growing in a certain faith, together. I mean, it seems real, man. Like, just the breaking off, I suppose, of what's called in the Bible, the angels separating those whose hearts are truly dark and unalighted to those whose hearts are truly hungry for love and relationship with anyone, meaning those who are capable of having relationships with each other. I think that honestly, there are spiritual beings that are separating. Oh, and I think that we are going to start seeing creatures like crazy shit, man. I'm not saying I declare it an absolute fact, but I think you're going to start seeing the weirder stuff from here on out. From here on out, man. I think stuff's going to start coming from Antarctica and stuff like that. I think things are being thought out that they're not going to be able to control. And it's all got a program. It's all already set. Like, it has a meaning. They have orders that they're going to follow, whether they realize they're going to do it or not. It's all culminating like magnets and like moths to the flame. Everything is doing what it does. And I think that's why those of us who love, if we continue on loving
each other, have nothing to worry about. And that's a fact. And because of that, we're gonna grow while others are like, how is it possible that you're growing in love? How is it that you're growing in strength? And the only answer will be love. And as the book says, like, go up, or whatever you want to say, it speaks of us rising and the others staying, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I think it's a spiritual lifting up that we're going through. And as long as you take the elevator that's being offered, like, you go up. I mean, and people would be like, oh, we got to make sure you have the right name. And it's like, okay, I read the book though, and the book says you'll be forgiven getting love's name wrong, as long as it's love like, I believe salvation is learning to love others. Obviously, you need to love yourself because God loves you. But I believe that salvation is loving others because others are imperfect. So if you can learn to love others, then you've learned to love yourself. And if you've learned to love yourself, then, and the truth is, you really to love and be loved and receive love forever in an unending adventure that never ends. That was God's idea in the first place. And God doesn't have bad ideas. So that's the big plan. People are like, oh, really? Yeah, God was just correcting the bullshit that happened in the first place. And he considered himself the one that caused it. He goes, I did this. I made them. I got to solve this myself too. And so he did. He's like, I will put a bridge in that they can see, hopefully. And if they cross it, they'll cross it here where I am, in love. That's what it was all about. Safe from the evil, which is those that would deliberately, out of hate and anger, try and hurt others rather than build others up. And that's it. That's honestly like the whole shebang, except it's a daily.
Hold on, Morgan. I was enjoying your soliloquy there, but like a little too much. Like I felt myself getting into like a trance. And I was like, oh, I'm in a Morgan trance. That happens to me with some of my online friends. Is they like create a state where my brainwaves become entrained into their frequency. It happens with Morgan. It's been happening with Jack Talcott. Like if I put Jack Talcott on and I'm like listening to him in the background, within a very short amount of time, like I feel myself entering a certain state of consciousness. And I'm like, oh, I'm on the Talcott frequency. Or like I'm on the Morgan frequency. Certain people have a way, a method, a tendency to draw one in. And then you become synced with their beingness. Yeah, it becomes hypnotic. Maybe it's just me. Because I'm attentive. Like I listen to people when they speak. That's one of the reasons why I'm like filled with endless amounts of seemingly useless information. I actually listen to people when they speak all the time. That's why I know weird things about people's lives. Morgan, you're back.
Oh, hey, I got guitars. I was like, also because I like to play my guitars, right? And I like to sing. So I think I'm sometimes trying to weave that together, I'm trying to weave what I'm saying and doing into the song that I'm always doing, right? Like, after I've spoken of love, there's nothing really left to do but give an example of love. Like, you know, because I suppose I'm enjoying some peace.
Nice. Did you want to play something? You seem inspired to play something. Are you down for it?
I was hoping.
All right, floor's yours, Mr. Morgan.
All right.
Regale us with something.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the angel song because I love it. Watching all the clocks run backwards, slowly choking out my lungs, throwing all the stones around me, until all that's left is one. Euthanasia haunts me nightly, until the master's work is done. Give to all just what they're asking, while sex and death is all flesh wants. And while I've got angels all around me, lighting the fires that free man from feeling. Send your waters inside me again. Feel your spirit inside me again. Promise lies what time it finds you. Pace God taking all that's gold. Perspective curve my thought around you. Milk my blood until it's gold. Salt afresh to leave me thirsty. A start to go robot home. I slow that forge our indecision until all have made their choice. And while I've got angels all around me, lighting the fires that free man from feeling. Send your waters inside me again. Feel your spirit inside me, I pray.
Yeah. Much love, Morgan. We'll talk to you again. I'm going to get to the news. Thank you for that, brother. It's our friend Morgan, everybody. Bringing up the vibes. He's bringing up the vibes. The chat is calling for an encore. Another day. Another day. Gotta love Morgan. I appreciate you, Mr. Morgan. Good sir. I don't know about others, but that's on them. I appreciate you. All right, everybody. It's time for news. In today's news from The Hill, Hamas releases video of Israeli hostage as U.S. international pressure to release captives intensifies. Hamas is beginning to release videos of hostages that they kidnapped from Israel as part of a brutal attack on the country launched last week, when 199 people were taken captive and more than 1,300 were killed. Women and children, including infants and toddlers, are believed to be among those Hamas took as hostages into the Gaza Strip during its attack on October 7th. A new video released Monday shows a young woman lying in bed and receiving medical treatment, etc., etc. So again, of course, what else are we going to see? It's the headline news this morning. But Hamas and Israel and the kidnapping. Apparently there's 199 people taken captive. Where's all my gematria people? Where are you, Smith W? So now we have what? October 7th, and they're telling us 199 people were captured. I'm wondering, is there any significance behind these numbers? I mean, look at our own, like 9/11, September 11th, 2001. The occult significance around many of those numbers, at least attributed by many of us around these communities. 9/11 means something to some people. It might mean something to these elites. The fact that it took place in 2001 shows some degree of significance. The beginning of the millennia. Some people could associate 9/11 with some type of ritualistic practice, ushering in a new age. This is being compared to 9/11. This is the Israel 9/11 apparently. Who knows? Who knows anything? Who knows how much of this is real, fake, staged? People use words like false flag, staged event. People use words like hoax. I don't know. I'm not there. I can't tell you really what it is, but I can tell you what it's not, like I often do. And certainly not what they're presenting. It's not what the mainstream is telling you it is. It's not what CNN, Fox News, or MSNBC are saying. That's what I could tell you for sure. There's going to be a tendency for people to drop into their programming, their paradigms, because they're comfortable. That's what I try to do. I try to challenge each and every one of you. Challenge you. Look at your preconceptions. Challenge your preconceptions. Things that you accept as true. Things that are very likely merely beliefs that you accept as objective de facto reality. Challenge your paradigm, the lens through which you view this world. Things aren't as they seem. So again, I don't have to tell you what something is just because I can tell you what it is not. I have another guest in the back. Let's let him up. Dick Freedom Grower. Welcome back to Z Show.
Yo, what's happening, Z? How's it going?
Hola, Mr. Freedom Grower. How are we on this fine morning?
Doing fantastic. Bright and crisp grand rising here. It's getting a little nippy up in the mountains. But got the
Looks
chickens
like
all
it, man.
taken care of. And yeah, the news cycle is so interesting. You know, it's like you're never going to turn on the news. Not that I ever do turn on the news, but I honestly have no idea about this hummus. I think that's a type of dip that you use in Greek dishes. But the whole Israeli thing, I haven't paid attention to any of it. But I just know that whatever the case being, they're always going to have some kind of doom and gloom thing to present to you. You know, it's always part of this script. There's some news cycle about why you need to be in fear and trepidation and the sky is falling and everything's going to hell in a handbasket. So it's pretty much par for the course as far as I can tell.
Well, you know, it's the ever-present shit show that seems to be presented to us, you know, through media. I mean, I've done this. You can look through media throughout the ages. Magazine covers, you know, whether it's Time, Life, whatever, Life magazine, old news reports. We seem to have been on the precipice of destruction ever since the advent of technology. Let's think about it. All of a sudden you have radios in everybody's home, then followed by TV. What has come along with this technology? Wars, rumors of wars, conflict, pandemics, plagues. It's all kind of like all come together. It begs the question, like, has this media technology just highlighted this certain aspect of humanity that we're just embroiled in never-ending conflict? Or is in some way the rise of this technology creating the conflict? It may be at least creating the idea of these larger conflicts, as opposed to these local skirmishes. It seems like with technology comes a greater homogeneity of culture, homogeneity of government, seems to be leading to these larger wars, greater cataclysms. I don't know, Dick. What is this technology? I'll ask this question, which I always do. Do the benefits of technology outweigh its detriments and its limitations? Because I could make an argument that it doesn't. I could make an argument that we'd all be better off if we were literally back in the proverbial Stone Ages or the Dark Ages, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I could make that argument too, and I think I often do, but it might be rooted somewhat in naivety where, I'll get challenged on it that, yeah, but look at how our ancestors lived and look at their, length of life and all these kind of metrics that show maybe their life was quite difficult. People say often we don't live as long because people used to have so much manual labor. They just work themselves into the grave. And I do have people in my ancestry like that just, like my grandpa on my mother's side that just worked his ass off, was a painter, had a crew of 20 painters, and fuck, all he did was just manual labor every day. But he lived way into his late 90s. And I even remember him saying, in his 90s, he'd say, man, they've been talking about the end of the world and World War III and everything's going to hell since I was a little kid, just running down to the bakery, single digits, 8 or 9 years old. And so he goes, not much has changed there. But as far as the tech, are you saying you're thinking that the augmented intelligence is actually creating these events, like creating the war, creating the chaos?
Potentially, that's the question, because it seems as though conflict, divide and conquer is a good control mechanism. You just keep us all kind of fighting amongst each other, so we're kind of distracted from their games. It kind of works well for them when you're playing both sides of a conflict. So I'm not sure.
Because you were asking me, so do I think the benefits outweigh the negative?
In general, let's even bring it back to the invention of the wheel. Let's just go back. Let's just take their conception of history as if we've progressed linearly along some type of technological timeline, which I could argue is not true. But even just discovering fire, let's just bring it back. Let's take the 2001 Space Odyssey vision of when the first monkey realizes that he can use a tool, when he picks up that bone and he smashes it. You understand? Let's just frame it like that. I can make an argument that was the fall of man. Let's think about it. We're told that the fall of man, depicted in this Garden of Eden scenario, would be the proverbial biting of the fruit, the tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge, the proverbial Prometheus introducing fire from the gods to humanity. That may be the fall of man. This idea that we can use technology where we can exploit our world for benefit, I can make an argument that is the original devil's bargain, is that this perceived benefit through technology at any level is actually our downfall and our destruction. It's food for thought. Go ahead, your thoughts.
Yeah, it's a really big picture thought to think about. I mean, it's the fall of man, the proverbial biting of the fruit, the tree of knowledge, introduction of fire. I think about, had these things not happened, we'd be in such an animal state, probably not even using language to communicate, just little grunts and utterances. We'd probably still be dragging our wives back to the cave and, fighting dinosaurs or something, according to history. But I think that everything comes down to free will. So it's like, is the benefits outweighing the negative? Well, we choose. because we really drive the ship. You know, if we let this thing take us over and cyborg us out, and we give up our very beingness and our souls to technology, then no, the benefits don't. You know, and maybe in that sense they still outweigh the negative, because that should happen to us if we're that cowardly and that weak and that unwilling to, you know, be stewards of the gift the Most High gave us, which is this free will, this godlike image that we bear, where we can actually shape and carve this realm. So yeah, if we give that up, you know, it's gonna probably be a long cycle that plays out. But I don't think that's the full, you know, story. I think the way this thing wraps up is there's plenty that step into their sovereignty. They become like gods, as the Bible says. You know, man became God so God could become man, or God became man so man could become God, better said. And it's I'm not trying to put that ego in there that we're becoming gods, but we're becoming God-like in the sense that we're image bearers of the Creator, and we have a responsibility to this stewardship to create a balanced equilibrium realm. We have to do that. Otherwise, you know, we're failing our very life purpose. That's the way I view it.
Yeah, I'm liking it. All right, let's move on. This is from the Washington Post. Using toilet paper is grosser than you think. Here's a better idea. Question. I feel like I'm using the wrong toilet paper, or what I'm using is too harsh on my skin. How should I be wiping after using the bathroom? Answer. Instead of wiping with toilet paper, try using a bidet. That's right. There's something called a bidet. Bidets are gentle and hygienic. In fact, in 2022, a study found that the hands of people who use bidets have profoundly fewer microbes than those who wipe. What do you think, Jack? Is it time that we need to move on from toilet paper? Do we need gadgets, devices, and otherwise to kind of help us with this problem? Or what do you think? Should we just stick with the toilet paper? Your thoughts?
Now, see, I'm actually an expert on this subject, Z, so I had to turn the camera on. If we're talking about shit, I really want to get engaged and involved. This is an exciting subject for me. I actually spend late nights contemplating the different options. Bamboo, for example, being a sustainable toilet paper alternative, which doesn't have any chemicals or nefarious type of things inside of it, nanoparticulates that'll turn you into a cyborg robot. But the bidet, the T is silent, just to educate you a little bit there, Z. It's a bidet.
Oh, what did I say? Bidet?
Yeah,
oh, it's bidet. I'm sitting here wondering, Dick, I'm like, what is a bidet? Oh, so I know what a bidet is. So a bidet, I learned a bidet from Crocodile Dundee. So that's basically water squirting on your butt. Is that what a bidet is? Oh,
yeah, it's sweet ecstasy. I mean, it's wonderful. It's invigorating. It's stimulating. It's exciting. I recommend everybody do it. Go to Japan, sit on a $3,000 bidet, and then come back to America and buy you a $130 Chinese slave labor Amazon version, and that'll do good enough.
But here's the thing about bidets. So I was always under the impression you wipe first, then you go to the bidet. But this article seems to be recommending that, you
first,
just
then you wipe.
right to the bidet.
The reason why is you'll get ass chafing, because that water will reside within the anal cavity and create, mold and fungus and bacteria growth. It's really exciting. Yeast formations.
Gotcha.
I'm ruining your show, Z. I apologize.
Well, I'm the one who brought up the article. So what you do is
bidets are great though, because you should clean your ass completely, and then you can do one wipe with some bamboo toilet paper or something. I think that's the best option, just to be real talk about it, for anyone that is struggling. Because those toilet papers, if you're going buying bulk toilet paper at Costco, God, that shit's got so much chemicals, BPA, just endless plethora of fucking toxicity in it. And even if it's not affecting you on a full body level, like the toxicity, you could be causing yourself irritation and shit downstairs. It's not fun.
Gotcha. Look, I have to be honest. Most people, very likely, their use of simple toilet paper, it's not doing the job. I would imagine that there is a vast number of people, especially many amongst the overweight community that we find in this country. I have to be careful, Dick, because the last time I went in on overweight people, I got a really upset comment, about the struggles of larger, Americans that would be considered obese. So I do want to be like somewhat, cognizant of my larger listeners. But I'll say this: I would imagine that there's many people walking around with, let's say, less than desirable sanitation regarding their backside in relation
Right.
to their, excrement habits. I'd imagine mere toilet paper is probably not getting the 100% job done. So, okay, I'm willing to entertain this, but like, why a bidet? Why not just like hook up a hose, like a regular garden hose, out to your like outside spigot, run it through the window, and just blast yourself down while you stand? Why not like
Yeah.
a detachable shower head? Why do we need the bidet? That seems a little much. I'm just wondering, but I'm not against the idea of the water being used and then the drying off afterwards. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like putting a bandage on a gaping wound in the sense that it's one of the things that might help your situation if you're having problems. But big picture, you probably got to change your diet because you probably have compacted fecal matter within your intestines, calcification, all kinds of fucking just septic going on there that's causing, the wipe not to be too great. So you may want to just look big picture at everything you're doing and how you could make some big picture life changes, because diet can really be the bigger factor there. But I do think toilet paper can be irritating. It certainly has been for me and others I've talked to.
Gotcha. We're learning something. We're bringing it, and that's why I like you, Dick, because you get down to the root of the issue. You're saying, hey, let's get beyond like the wiping. Let's talk about the actual fecal composition itself. Is one getting enough fiber, the right probiotics? Because it seems as though you're contending that if somebody has a proper functioning digestive system, that they don't have to worry too much about the messiness, that it kind of will just come out clean. And I get that. I
Well,
like
if you're
that.
wiping so much that you're taking 30 seconds of an inch of skin off your ass because, it's like sandpaper now, you probably have fecal matter issues. You probably have digestive issues. You probably have a terrible diet, if you have to wipe that much. So you're blaming the toilet paper, but it's because you're, scrubbing your ass like a Brillo pad with Costco fucking sandpaper. News you can use.
This
And I
article
hear
from
you, Z. Fat people don't want to be told they're fat. It's,
No,
it's
they
a
don't,
thing.
Dick. You should see the comment that I got. It was weird. Like maybe a month and a half ago. It was in August. When I start my show, I do my like monologue. I just kind of ramble whatever the fuck's on my mind. And I went in on like fat people and stuff. It's not even nice to call people fat, but I was like out the day before, I think, and I was just looking around. I was like at a Walmart or a Target or somewhere, and I was just looking at the general state of people, their physicality, their presentation, and I was just rambling, and I just commented on like, hey, can we like all get it together, like collectively? Like, can we just kind of get a handle? Because it wasn't always like this. There was somewhat of a stigma associated with being overweight. Some people, I get it. It's a genetic issue. People have hormonal issues, glandular issues. I understand this. People have physical limitations. But just in general, guys, can we just not admit that the general state of humanity, at least in the Western culture, has become one of, let's say, I don't know, maybe slovenly, lazy. We could do better. Can we at least just all admit that we could do better? Anyway, Dick, this person was not happy whatsoever. And they made it very known to me the struggles of being a larger person, how much they've dieted, and how much they just can't lose the weight. And which is funny because I thought I was being like, a little soft handed. I didn't think I was being too harsh on those that are the overweight community, but this person was not having it. And Dick, I rarely apologize for things that I do online because a lot of it's just you're doing things live. A lot of it's a persona when you're up here and you're presenting in front of an audience. But I apologized. They did not accept my apology. They said, you're not sorry because if you were, you would have never said it. Which to me takes away the point of even having the concept of an apology. Because if you apologize to somebody and they say, well, you can't be sorry because you would have never said it, then why even have apologies? Because there'd be no reason to apologize because you just would have never said the thing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's like me having average sized genitals. You know, I've tried every penis enlargement kit on every porn site available, and nothing seems to work to make me a grandiose man. So I just, have to deal with the humiliation of being an average sized genitals man. And that's really what I got out of that. See.
I like where you took it there, Dick. Very interesting. Let's get to the
No, the
next
problem
arc.
is people look, if they could change it, then they would, but they don't have the discipline, Z. They don't want to do the work to make a change in their life. And when people point it out, they get offended because it is a weak point in their conscience, right? They can't overcome that hump or own it and just say, this is who I am. I love who I am. And, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. If you're big boned, as they say, I had a cousin who used to always say she's big boned. And it's like, if you see yourself as that and that's what, you're presenting and you love it and you're happy with it, who cares what anybody else thinks? You're always going to have a hater. There's always going to be someone who wants to take a pot shot at you. And I'm not saying you were doing that to this gal, but obviously the way she took it was that, it's a weakness in her and she really has an insecurity about it. So, you can self-reflect and improve yourself. If you think you're being slobbish and you have, bad hygienics, or you're just presenting yourself as a fat slob with no, because it is people could have different issues with their hormones and there could be medical issues there. But in general, it's just people being lazy and sitting in a fucking chair all day and they don't exercise. And then they want to fucking, say, don't criticize me about my obvious laziness and lack of willingness to take responsibility for my life.
Right. Like you said, in general, look, a big factor to go by is what was their body type during adolescence? And then what is their body type now? For instance, come on, man, I see kids that are 4 and 5 years old that are morbidly obese. That's one thing.
Exactly.
But I know guys, I mean, I've seen it long enough, like guys I went to school with who were just skinny beanpole rails, guys that were just, and now they're these overweight people, which means that their natural body type was not to be overweight. Something kind of went haywire along the way. I do think a lot of it is hormonal. People don't realize how much their hormones are involved in regulating their biological systems, how they function, even their appetites. All right. You see these things
be the same people,
over and over again.
They'll be the same people where I won't say anything about how fat they are. And we'll get in the car to do a road trip or whatever, a business meeting or something. This is more my previous life, but they can't even put the seatbelt around their fat gut and it's beeping the whole time till the car finally shuts off the, safety beeper. And it's like, then you go for lunch and they want to go through fucking Burger King or McDonald's to get some big McCrap, supersized fries. And I'm like, fine, I'll take you there, but I'm going to slip through the Whole Foods or the little natural store here and grab me, a fucking veggie sandwich with sprouts on it and something that's light and energizing and keeps me in a positive mindset. And then you see them, they got the doldrums, they don't have the energy, they can't even work a full day, they're dragging ass, and they make all these excuses. And honestly, most of the people I've met like that, they always say it's a medical issue. And if you try to give them any advice, any consideration to their condition, they just chalk it up to, this is who I am, I can't change, I've always been this way, always going to be a fat slob that has no ability to change myself. So they've determined it's just who they are. It's not for me to try to change them. I mean, if they don't want the advice, I won't give it. But I've been a fat slob and I've had, serious inflammation and all the results of that lifestyle because I lived it. So I know firsthand how making changes in your own diet and just stress and all that stuff, changing your life completely, it will change you.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's get to the final news article of the day. This article's from the New York Times. Oh, the New York Times, of course. Lab leak fight casts chill over virology research. Questions about whether the COVID-19 whether COVID-19 leaked from a Chinese laboratory have cast a chill over American virus research, drying up funding for scientists who collect or alter dangerous pathogens, and intensifying a debate over those practices. The pullback has transformed one of the most highly charged fields of medical science. While some believe such experiments could fend off the next pandemic, others worry they're more likely to start one. Again, they always present the news in this paradoxical way. They never really give answers. They say, oh, well, look, the whole thing may have started from a virus leak, but paradoxically, if you want to predict the next pandemic, you need to do this research. Oh, what a conundrum. How should we proceed? What are your thoughts, Dick? Because it's kind of bringing up a couple things here. One, it's assuming a virus. It's assuming that the germ theory of disease is what we say it is. It's also assuming it was leaked from a Chinese lab and that it's somehow affecting researchers here. What are your thoughts?
Sounds familiar. Sounds like we just went through that. I didn't even catch the first part. Sorry, I had to go grab some hot water to get my tea. Are they saying there's a new one coming out of out of a lab in China?
No, what they're saying is now that these research labs all around the world, and especially here in this country, that there's like a new, as they say, there's questions around it, because while they believe that they need to experiment on these viruses to help with, the next pandemic, that it is indeed having these quote unquote viruses in these labs that may have potentially caused the last one. So it's a chicken or the egg thing, see what I'm saying?
We knew that even before we knew what it was. People were already, rumors were spreading, right? It's funny how the conspiracy theorists always becomes the legit narrative after it plays out.
Even if you're buying the whole narrative, like let's take it. Okay, we could even question germ theory as such. We could even question that, but let's just assume the presentation of viruses. You're exactly right. Within the very first few days of this whole thing, they were doing the China lab leak story. And then it was downplayed. You were called a conspiracy theorist asshole if you even brought it up.
You'd be a moron if you connected those dots, right?
And now here, months and months and years later, it's assumed now. Even the normies, like, oh, of course, that's what it was, and everybody just accepts it. It's the same thing with the alien presentation. If you went back 50, 60 years ago and you asked people about aliens, maybe 1 out of 10 people would say, yeah, I think there's aliens. Now it's almost everybody just accepts aliens. The conspiracy theorists then become, the accepted, the accepted ideas. Nobody goes back. Nobody comes back. Do you remember? I don't know. I was one of those people years ago. I would say to people like, oh, they're reading your emails. You guys realize that, right? Your phones are probably filming you. It might not be a person, but you're being recorded, whether it's through AI or an advanced algorithm. Everybody would just say I'm crazy. They say I'm an idiot. Now everybody just accepts it. But that's the thing, Dick. Nobody goes back and remembers and says, hey, you told me like 10 years ago this thing. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't just acknowledge that you said it. Good job. People don't do that. It's a selective amnesia. Or they'll go back and they'll tell you the information as if they're teaching it to you. And you're like, I'm the guy who told you that 3 years ago, dummy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a mess, man. I mean, I think even what we saw on the front end that now they're spinning back as the narrative, like, hey, we just figured something out 3 years later that you guys were talking about before this even, was known. That's all just more propaganda too. It's to confirm us into another false narrative. Because the deeper that I've looked into this, and I'll just say this one word: parasites. Man, it's fucking. It's definitely an issue, and it's not necessarily all organic. Could be synthetic, but I don't think they want us to know the real thing that happened, because I think there's actually real solutions for it that are very simple, very cost effective. And I've said that for a while, and I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. All right, Dick, we're going to wrap the show. Any final thoughts? Much love. Appreciate you coming up.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you having me up. Nice talking with you, and have a great rest of your Grand Rising here.
Back at you. That's Dick Freedom Grower, everybody. You can check him out at the Dick Freedom Grower channel. Let me drop a link in for Dick's channel. It's been a while since I dropped a link for him. And he's over there doing stuff. for a while he wasn't producing a lot of content, but now he seems to kind of be doing stuff now. I see him outside. He's like, I see what you're trying to do, Dick. You're trying to present like information, things that you value, things that you think are important, and you play music. Let me drop the link. Where am I? Where's my channel? I gotta get back to my show. So I can drop the link. There it is. Links in the chat, everybody. All right, all you lovely guys and dolls. That'll do it for another Z show. Thanks for being here. We'll do it again, if the fates are willing, tomorrow. Same time, same place. Much love, everybody. Peace out.